Good morning, good morning. Turn on the marquee lights. Good morning tonight.
Good morning. Broadway is feeling bright. Good morning tonight.
When the theaters shut their doors, we were so sad and blue.
Now we're bringing back Broadway in our Tuesday night review.
So good morning.
We'll make you feel all right. Good morning tonight for you. Good morning
tonight.
What a take.
And now, live from New York City, it's Good Morning Tonight.
Under an upgrade. Hello, I'm Michael Hull.
And I'm Jackie Cox.
And welcome to
Good Morning Tonight.
It is 7 p.m., which means that if all were right in the world, now is the time that us theater people would be springing from our beds. Actors would be warming up their gifts, and we'd be getting ready to head to the theater district for another night of the magic of live theater.
But that is still not happening these days. Broadway is still dark, and a lot of people, especially us, are missing the magic of live theater, of performers, of people with beautiful voices, such as our guest tonight. And even those with not so beautiful voices. I just miss people. I miss them. So we're here to say good morning and welcome to this morning show just for us nighttime people.
Yes, and what a show it's going to be. You guys, our first guest is an OG American Idol.
Oh my gosh.
A 6-time Broadway vet.
Oh my gosh.
And a passionate mentor and arts educator. We're going to gab all things Broadway with him. Plus, he's going to tell us about his Profit Under Pressure Core Confidence Program. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Spoiler alert, it's Justin Guarini.
It is.
And then speaking of Eenies, after that, we have Drew Gasparini, one of Broadway's favorite composers and lyricists, whose music has been sung by quite literally everyone we love.
Every last one.
So good. I love the music.
Yep. Including him. Including him. He is a singer-songwriter in his own right. He has a gorgeous voice. And I'm just so excited to catch up with him.
I'm actually just excited because, having him backstage watching this, he'll be so inspired. He'll write us a new theme song.
Oh, a new theme song. Look at you. She's networking live.
But in the meantime, he's currently working on a handful of exciting projects, including the Broadway-bound music The Karate Kid. And we'll chat with him all about it later this hour.
Yeah. It's going to be quite a show. You guys, I have to get something out of the way right away.
Tell it.
Which is actually that we booked both of these guys independently, and I didn't know they go way back.
Way back.
They're actual real life buddies, not just here on the show. They go as far back, dare I say.
What are we looking through?
I'm looking at my slides.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say they go back as far as. Here they are in 2011.
Oh my
Mark
gosh.
and Roger in Rent,
Look
which
at these cuties.
we should have called this the 25th anniversary Rent episode because, as you might know, it is the 25th anniversary of Rent, and right after this show, New York Theater Barn is doing New York Theater Workshop is doing a Rent reunion. But I say, who needs their Rent reunion? We're doing a Rent reunion.
We got one right
here. It's going to be great.
And I still have to pay the rent on this very expensive, very real studio. I haven't paid my rent this
Well,
month.
clearly you don't know the musical Rent.
I don't.
If you just
you
don't
just don't pay it.
and you just sing about not paying it, you'll be
And then
fine.
you sing outside of it.
Yeah.
And sing about
Tent
cows.
cities, fires, sing about cows. Oh yeah, moo cow.
Yeah.
That was one person sings about a cow.
Speaking of rent, it is March. So if your rent is due today or yesterday, probably pay it if
you haven't
have
paid,
the money.
You're late.
What else has been happening in the world, Michael?
It's been a big week,
It has
Jackie
been a big
Cox.
week.
It's been a big week for award shows. It was the Golden Globes.
It was.
A few people watched.
I heard that no one directly told me this, but based on the feedback, what I heard was that we should have produced it.
I mean, honestly, Tuesday night, the Golden Globes, Jackie and I could have hosted from the same room as opposed to Amy and Tina Fey, who hosted from opposite coasts.
Yeah.
We're available.
We're available, and they didn't want to fly them in together, make them COVID
I don't know if
test
it was
and
like
quarantine.
to be cool, to be like, we're bi-coastal now,
Yeah.
because everything's bi-coastal
Well,
now.
and as you guys know, Michael and I get COVID tested every week. Well, we both got our COVID test just yesterday. That's currently the standard practice in the film industry. So, if they want to take any pointers from us, we're available.
All I'm saying is we are available. And speaking of award shows, which by the way, what also was super weird to see, half the people were like done up. They were like, I'm gonna put on my ball gown and I'm gonna watch the award show on Zoom.
Yeah.
And the other half of the people showed up in like sweatshirts.
Yeah,
like,
RuPaul in the face mask.
all face keenies for everybody.
Very face keenie energy.
And then the other big award show news that we have this week is Tony Award voting has officially begun for a Tony Awards that we don't know when it will be.
Yeah.
And it's going to be super weird. But yeah, there are 778 Tony voters, 778 Tony voters.
And I think only 7 shows were nominated this
Not a
year.
lot of shows were nominated, but also not a lot of voters got to see everything.
No.
So if you're not familiar with the Tonys, you can't vote unless you've seen everything in a category. So listen, I'm all for celebrating theater. I celebrate theater all day, every day. It's the only, it's my whole life. But
You a theater geek?
Me, a theater geek? It's me. It's me, just like Elphaba. But yeah, it's gonna be great. We'll see. But Tony voting is open for the next 2 weeks. So if
For
you're
all
a
the Tony
voter,
voters who are watching.
if you're a Tony voter, go cast your vote. Team Aaron Tveit.
I am not a Tony voter, but you know what I am? A Tony Roma's customer. I've been to a Tony Roma's.
Oh,
It's an Italian joint.
I got it.
Yeah.
Got it. These are the jokes, kids. Stick around for the jokes.
Or don't, because we should get into our
We really
show.
should. We should. We're getting a little stale. We should roll into our next thing, which is our guest. You guys, our first guest tonight took it to the very end of that first season of American Idol, capturing hearts all over America with his silky and soulful vocals.
And surprisingly, well, I won't say surprisingly, but I would say is one of the most famous runners-up of that show to have ever come out of that show, and most successful. And I'm only saying that in the hopes that I, as one of the runners-up of a reality show, also can hope to aspire
He made it
to his
he made
career.
it to second place.
You know what?
He made it to second place.
He's also released 2 studio albums, an acoustic EP, and starred on the great Broadway in hits like Wicked, American Idiot, and more. I saw him in Women on the Verge.
Of a Nervous
So good.
Breakdown.
So good, so good.
A very 2021 thing, a nervous breakdown. He's also a teacher, a coach, an advocate for arts education, and his Profit Under Pressure program, Core Confidence Training, is helping people all over the country feel empowered to reach their full potential. Also, spoiler alert, his hairdo tonight is going to transport us back in time. My little gay heart is freaking out. Let's welcome to the show the one and only Justin Guarini.
What an
Justin!
intro!
Oh my goodness.
What an intro!
Good morning tonight.
Good
Ooh,
morning
what
tonight.
are you sipping on, my dear?
You know, in honor of my friends, Patty Murin and Colin O'Donnell, I'm actually sipping on their wine. I know you have a graphic of it, but we'll just put it up.
I do.
The
Hold on, let me
11
look
o'clock number. Boom! Oh, wow, yeah, right.
Ooh.
Yes, the 11 o'clock number.
Well,
They-
that actually, put that graphic up, Michael, because
Hold on,
we
let's-
have,
please.
I think we have another great drink that we're cheersing.
We didn't realize
with.
you were going to have a cocktail, so we'll just grab our Dr. Pepper and get ready for this show.
I'm gonna have a sip right now
I'm
and
just gonna
see
put
if
mine-
it inspires me. Cheers, Michael.
Cheers! Now that Justin's here,
Hey, pay those
Justin
bills.
Guarini,
Pay those bills.
the face of Dr. Pepper. What?
Hey.
What?
Let me
Look,
try it.
I'm just trying to keep up with Colin Donnell. Let's see, let's see.
Sweet one.
There you go.
How'd it go?
Nice.
How'd I do?
That's
Michael,
great.
let's see yours.
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna sip this.
Oh,
It's gonna be-
okay. Justin, wait, I saw you backstage and it took me back to 2003
Look,
and
it's a sickness.
it's gorgeousness, it's beauty. I'm so excited because now I can just basically I'm just gonna look at you this way the whole time and then the kids are gonna Photoshop Michael out and it's gonna be called From Justin to Jackie.
I love it.
And
Girl, bye.
Yeah,
it's
from
gonna be
Justin to
great.
Jackie, Justin's Revenge.
You love a revenge sequel.
I do love a revenge sequel. That is something I'm known for.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are so excited that you are here. And you know, in a time when the world is in like full-blown lockdown and Broadway's been closed for, we are going on a year.
It'll be
like
a year
next
in next week.
Yeah.
You've been kind of busy. You're one of the ones that stayed busy.
Yes, right. Mostly knitting, but yeah.
Mostly knitting, yeah. But before we get to all of your knitting projects, because this is a Broadway-Talk live serious news broadcast.
Yeah, very real.
For anybody watching at home who doesn't know, I want to catch them up, and this is the reclaiming Justin Guarini portion of the show.
Oh.
Where I want to remind everybody that, Justin, you were a theater boy first. Before you skyrocketed to American Idol fame, you grew up in the theater. We're going to talk about Broadway in a little bit, but you're a theater boy first.
Because it's like on the Tony Awards when they're like, and welcoming home, Justin Guarini. Like, you know when they say that? It's like, welcome back, Megan Mullally. Like, you knew her before.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Broadway.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, in terms of theater, I got my first theater experience at Capers Dinner Theater. It was this little hole-in-the-wall restaurant in North Pennsylvania, North Doylestown, Pennsylvania. It was like in the sticks. And so I don't know how it happened. I was 15 years old and I showed up to this audition. I sang, they gave me a job. It was a dinner theater. And I mean, we had everybody coming through that dinner theater, like the bus tours with the, shall we say, seasoned folks came in. And like literally it was like every time we were like trying to sing, there was like clink, clink, and all the noise. And I will never forget my first experience speaking of the wonderful work that you have done, Jackie. I sang, I Am What I Am. And I put on a head, sort of like the Carmen Miranda sort of fruit hattie thing, dress, the breasts, the heels. And I, at 15 years of age...
you must have been gorgeous.
I loved it. It was so awesome. And people in the audience loved it. And this was like that. Like, I'm 42 now, so imagine 15. You do the math. You know, it wasn't like a thing, right? And
I'm so bummed that this was before the age of iPhones
I was like,
and YouTube.
Is there a photo
There's
or
video? There's video. There's video,
Oh.
VHS video, but there's video of it. It's been digitized.
Okay, but how are we? Okay, can we get someone, your mom, to put it on YouTube? Who can we make this happen?
I'll get it.
We will host the YouTube premiere, like on your YouTube channel. We'll just be there and be like, we are now breaking some important news. Wait. Have you recently done full drag? Because you would be gorgeous.
Oh my goodness, no. The last time I did that was for oh my goodness. What was the last huge drag musical that wasn't La Cage? Oh my god, the Australian.
Oh, Priscilla.
Priscilla
Yes,
Queen of the Desert.
Yes, Priscilla Queen of the Desert. I showed up, and because I got these man hands, they put some gloves on me, and like they dressed me up. It's not like my thing, but put me in drag, I feel fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the cheekbones,
honey, you got the
bone
cheekbones.
structure, go for it.
Well,
I just love being able to like embody a different person and a different persona. Like, it's so much fun.
That is,
and I think it's funny because a lot of
and
guys
don't let
actors,
someone tell you have man hands.
A lot of guys and actors who talk about drag are like, oh well, it's not my thing, it's whatever. Like, and also I think a lot of people think of drag as like something that gay men do, but like. I think playing with the gender binary any chance you get, however you identify as a person, knocking down a wall in any direction is just like an exciting human thing to do. And oh my God, I bet you're great at it.
I can't wait till this show happens live in front of an audience of thousands and we get you back and we're going to be like, and surprise, we're putting you in drag.
Well, how about this? I'll make a challenge for you. When all this is over and we can maybe get together in person, the three of us, why don't you give me a drag tutorial? You set me up. You beat me, you give me everything, I will come on and we will do a show together. How about that? That'll be fun.
Sold. You guys, Justin, you know you're on the internet right now. Like, there's record of this.
There is that record.
And this is now, we're holding you to this. This is happening. I am so excited.
Oh, and we didn't mention this, but the kids who may be wondering, Patty and Colin, whose delicious wine Justin is drinking, they will be joining us next week.
Yes.
We originally had them this week, but we're going to spread things out a little bit. So we're going to have the Eenies team tonight.
I had a feeling we were going to really throw down with Justin and Drew tonight. So
I think we are.
fear not.
I'll wait till later. Never mind.
Well, I was going to say, so can we flash forward a little bit, because this story gagged me, is that you had two roads diverged in a wood.
And sorry, I could not pick them both. Yeah.
In the early 2000s, you turned down The Lion King to go do American Idol. Well, first of all, how did that decision happen? Because like, Lion King was a known quantity, right? And American Idol was like, who knows if this
who knows what'll happen?
Who knows?
We didn't know it was going to be like the biggest reality show that has ever.
And that spawned 18 million knockoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll tell you the quick story. Basically, all throughout college, I was auditioning for The Lion King. It came through town, and I did all the auditions, and then I went up to New York, and I did, because I went to school in Philly at University of the Arts, and I went up to New York, and I did the master class, and at the end of the master class, after learning Zulu and Sutu and all the songs and everything, and the dances and whatnot, they said, oh, we really want you to be a part of this. We just don't have a place for you right now. And we know that you can't tour or anything. And so, look, just stick with us and we'll find a place for you. And that was like 1999. And so 2000 rolls along. I might have auditioned once or twice. And so over the years, 2000, 2001, and then 2002 comes around, and I hadn't heard anything for like 2 years and something, whatever. And so then I go audition for the show nobody's ever heard of. They tell me I'm going to Hollywood, and I've got this yellow piece of paper. Who knows what that means, right? And so I'm sitting in my car, and right before I go off to fly off to Hollywood for the week, and I get this phone call, and it's from Jay Binder, who cast The Lion King. And I'm calling, and he's like, we've got the role for you. He's like, a chorus role. And I mean, I was like, what, 22? And I was going to have a chorus role, which is, if you've seen The Lion King, you know, they're working.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Beautiful, right? And it's like, okay, great, boom. And it would have been my Broadway debut. It was something that I had wanted in the track that I had been on for years, ever since I was a little kid. And so I had to tell them, well, there's this thing, the show out in LA, I might get cut. Can I call you back in a week? And so what ended up happening was I was one day, about 3 or 4 days into Hollywood Week, after we were tired, after they made us learn all the lyrics, after they did all the beating up of us to think about.
You've done like 4 interviews with Ryan Seacrest and Dunkelman at the time. And like, Dunkelman. Lest we forget Dunkelman.
Yes, poor that's a story for another day. We'll spill all the tea on that story, because that man got... That was unfair what happened to him. So I was walking down the aisle at the Pasadena Civic Center, which is where they filmed, at least back then, the Hollywood Week. And I had been through a series of cuts. It was 126, and then it was 60, and then they were cutting it down till eventually it was going to get to top 30, and then what would eventually be the top 10. And so I'm walking down the VOM, and I'm looking, and I see the lights spinning around, and all these people I'm competing against but also friends with are in the audience, and I see the desk with the 3 chairs and the cameras and the booms and I look up at the stage, and I all of a sudden start bawling. And I was 22 years old and not prone to crying, and I was just kind of like, what's wrong with me? And what I recognized in the moment was I was up on that stage singing in the very same place that so many of my heroes in the music industry had come and sang. So many people in the theater industry, that stage that I was singing on with big poofy hair at 22 years of age was the same stage that at the 50th anniversary of Motown, Michael Jackson, for the first time, debuted the moonwalk on the very stage that I was on. So many people like that. And so in that moment, there was this voice that said to me, you got to do this. So I called up Broadway. And you know how we say, excuse me, it's Broadway calling. Like that joke?
Yeah.
Like I literally had to call
You called Broadway back.
I had to call Broadway back and be like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Okay, that's the other thing I'm doing. And I was just like, thank you so very much, but I'm going to go with this. And just a little bow on the story, 10 years later, it was 10 years later, I would be in the show that you saw me in, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, my very first show. And we had our opening night party in the hotel in Times Square, in the conference room that I sat and waited to audition for American Idol.
Wow.
You know what they say? It's a small world after all.
That is what they say. That is what the Sherman Brothers at least said it. That's a crazy story.
Right? Incredible.
It's
And
wild.
clearly,
Wild.
it all worked out. I just think it's so funny. And I'm going to be your biggest, advocate, waving this big flag of I just think it's incredible to remember that you didn't go and do American Idol and then come back and have that fame that brought you to Broadway. You earned Broadway the first time around.
That's
and then you
right.
were like, I got to follow my heart. I got to try this other thing because I think it's important. And then
Broadway's always waiting.
Broadway's
It's waiting for all of us right now. And that's the thing is
Obviously.
too. I've noticed, especially now that we're on the year anniversary, a lot of our friends who are still in the community are really starting to get anxious. And as much as I can with this show and with my heart and with my life to remind all of them, if it could wait 10 years for Justin Guarini, it'll wait another year, another
year
6
for
months,
us.
whatever it is for us.
Yeah.
It'll be there for us.
Just
That's
think
such an
about how
awesome
great it's going to
story.
be. Think about how great it's going to be when we all get back together. It's
Yeah.
it's going to be so amazing because right now I'm supposed to be in the Britney Spears musical. That was supposed to be happening right now. And there's so many people who I know and love, who I saw in your montage, who are who I've been in contact with, who I've had on a podcast or a show or something like that. And they're all just, they're chomping at the bit. And so when it happens, it's going to be amazing. People are going to
be electric.
It's going to be absolutely amazing, and I think it might be a renaissance in our industry if we do it right.
Yeah, I am sure.
I'm hopeful.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be electric.
And okay, we do have to talk about this because In Transit was the first big a cappella musical, and you were in an a cappella group.
Yes.
Talk about your love of a cappella. Is it all just all these loves and you're I love everything?
It does seem like your Broadway career,
including Diet Dr. Pepper. And how can I make all of them my career?
It does seem like your Broadway career has lined up to really well complement who you are.
If that Guarini's onto something.
Success leaves clues. So, I will say this. I have run the gambit in terms of things, whether it's being on television on American Idol, singing, being in commercials, being on Broadway, hosting live red carpets, doing shows like this. And it's just one of those things where I realized that this is what I was born to do. And there's no sense in trying to fight it. And I just might as well keep doing it and doing it as many different ways as I can and saying yes to as many different kind of jobs as I can. And when it comes to the a cappella group, it's you just, all these experiences have put me into this lane where of oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, and so much of what I love about the Broadway community and why I feel like it is my home. Not television, not film. I love them. They're great. But Broadway is my home because the people. We are the most inclusive, most loving. I mean, look, there's some people out there who aren't that great. But all in all, we are the most inclusive, most loving community of folks. We invite everyone in, and it doesn't matter what you look like, who you love, as long as you are willing to put yourself out there and express yourself. This is the home for you, which is why I love it. And coming from the stigma, which is what it was at first, of American Idol before reality TV was a thing, coming from that stigma, I was so lovingly accepted into the Broadway community, and I will never forget that. And that's why it'll always be my home, for sure.
Yeah, I love that. And the kids in the comments
are going wild
for you. It's just inspirational to hear you speak. And on that note, I know you're also, you are a mentor and arts educator. You're very passionate about kind of the future of
the next
Broadway
generation.
and the world.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, from home, from your Philadelphia apartment. Is that where you are?
Oh, yeah. This is actually my office. I'm going to do that so there's not a light flare.
Ah, there you go.
You like that? This actually leads us into the conversation. I wrote a book called Audition Secrets. I had a really, really terrible audition experience one time with a very, very popular show. I won't go into it. I love them. I love the show itself. I would maybe still do it. But I will say this. They treated me very poorly. And I thought to myself, okay, after being in 5 or 6 Broadway shows, and I'm not at the top of the charts by any stretch, I'm also not at the bottom. If they treat me like this, imagine how they treat people coming up through the system. And so I was like, after being a bitter for a moment and questioning whether I should be doing this for my living or not, I said, okay, how can I not feel this way? And then how can I make sure that other people in our community who have been taught and trained, as we all have as actors, that we are expendable, that we are just cattle, hence the cattle call, right? That we are taught that we are powerless. I'm like, how can I give us and help us to give myself and help us to give ourselves our power back? And instead of in the auditions situation, walking in like, please give me the job with that energy, because that's what we've all done at some point, right? How can we walk in really valuing our own worth? Because the show doesn't happen without us, honey. Right?
Okay.
Right? So let me tell you. And you don't need to come in and be an a-hole about it.
I'm getting a free class right now. This is great.
But what I'm saying is, how can we come in owning our own power? And it's just as simple, and I cover that in the book Audition Secrets, 5 secrets. But one of the secrets is going in and recognizing that you are on the same playing field as the people you are going in to audition for. And when you come in your power and you say, I am an artist, I am a creator, you on the other side of the table are artists and creators. Here is what I have got, my unique version of this story. I'm going to give you what I got. Hey, do you want to partner with me on this? Yes? Great. No? Great. Thank you very much for the experience. No matter what, you can walk out of the room with a victory there if you start from that energy. And believe me, so many casting directors, their job is to sniff out lies and liars. And what do we do when we walk in the room and they're like, how are you doing? We're like, I'm great.
You're like, I'll be whatever you want.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You won't be, which is a lie, right?
We lie to people whose job it is to sniff out liars. Yeah. And so when we come in with just that little adjustment in energy, it doesn't have to be cocky. It doesn't have to be braggadocious. It just has to be grounded and centered in who we are. They notice. And whether they might not hire us for that job, but they notice that we don't come in BSing like most people do. So it immediately sets us apart. And so.
Right. And I think when you start to be yourself, you allow people to get to know you. And that's what people want. And that's what's going to beget relationships and job, whatever you want to call it, relationships, jobs, anything like that. It all starts with authenticity.
Amen.
And so,
Okay, and Justin, if kids want to buy this book, 'cause we got some aspirants who watch this show. What's the best way for you to get
I want to buy
most,
the book.
Well,
I'm going to get it right after this.
And old people. What's the best way for people to buy this book and you make the most money? Because that's important.
Oh no,
to me too.
you know what? It is all the same. Amazon. It is
Amazon.
Right
okay.
Amazon. Yeah. Audition Secrets.
Audition Secrets by Justin Guarini. Buy it on Amazon. I don't need to put the link because I think everyone knows how to get to
Amazon.com. And then also, you guys, if you're watching this and you don't follow Justin Guarini on social, which I don't think anybody's watching that doesn't follow the Justin Guarini
we have it
on social.
scrolling right there.
But it is scrolling on the bottom for you. Give him a follow. You also have some other amazing coaching things going on. Yes. You've got new programs that you're launching. You've got your Instagram is also just a great follow. You're going live a lot. You're on Clubhouse. You're spreading the good word, doing the work. And so thank you for doing that, and thank you for putting energy into a community that you clearly care so much about.
I do.
I'm so inspired. Yeah. I'm gonna walk into that next audition looking different. I'm gonna be me.
And by walk in, you mean you're gonna click accept on the
Zoom invitation.
I know. Oh man.
My gosh, Zoom audition.
It's so weird. It's so weird, but you know what? I think if there is any community that can adapt, because Lord knows we have to adapt to all kinds of situations, it's this community. And so I'm excited to see the things that come out of this long term. And I know for a fact, because I know people, aka our next guest, who have been pent up, and who have been writing some amazing material. So I cannot wait to see what people like our next guest have been.
I love Justin, the co-host of this show.
I know.
Okay, Justin, stick around backstage. We're gonna say bye to you for a moment as we bring in our next guest. But will you stick around and then come back to play?
I would
with
absolutely
all of us
love.
Do you mean as we bring in our next guest? But we'll see you a little bit later. Justin Guarini, you're the best. Thanks for hanging out with us. And good morning tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't he just the best?
I'm ready to go be in The Lion King. I could be Zazu.
Maybe.
I could be Timon.
You'd be a lovely Timon, and I'll be a Pumbaa.
There you go.
There we go, you guys. It's
Who's
gonna be
watching?
great.
Schumacher, you're watching? His office is just right over there.
Well, let's get going. Do you think he's in during COVID?
I don't think so.
All right. Well,
it's literally like 1 block away from us.
Well,
2. It's 2 in fact.
We're gonna keep an eye on that. You guys,
we should
move on to our next guest.
Because our next guest is a composer, lyricist, singer, songwriter, teacher, funny man, and more. His music has been heard on television in the hit show I may have sung almost every song from it. Smash! And on stages all over the world, and on multiple studio recordings.
And in every senior showcase ever.
Ever.
I'm gonna guess that. He's a very popular man in a senior showcase. He's the composer of the Broadway-bound musical The Karate Kid, and his podcast, Now We're Talkin', is now out. And you guys, spoiler, and this is the last we'll talk about it here, but if you want to know the punchline to that juicy Justin Guarini audition story that we're not going to talk about because we're not ragging on anybody, but go listen to our next guest's episode of his podcast with guest Justin Guarini.
Ooh!
How about that?
Look at this. It's like a crossover.
It's like a scavenger hunt.
Oh my goodness. So please welcome to the show, Drew Gasparini. Drew, good morning tonight.
Hello,
oh my goodness.
How are you?
Ooh,
Yeah.
delish. What are you drinking, Drew?
I'm having a beer. I'm having a beer, Jackie.
I support that. I may be also having a beer in this mug. You never know.
I'm having a
I'll
Diet
never
Dr. Pepper
tell.
whiskey.
I'll tell you, you guys were sipping the Diet Dr. Pepper, and I wanted to be on your burp level, so I decided carbonation,
Bubbles.
beer. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
it's gonna be great.
You had me cracking up at he's very popular at senior showcase.
Drew, listen, you are a popular man, but never have I ever seen a senior showcase where somebody doesn't
How
say...
many senior showcases are you going to?
None.
Why are you going to so many senior showcases?
You photograph
I don't
a
even
bunch
go
of
to
them,
these
don't you?
showcases.
You film and photograph.
I do film and photograph them, but listen, now that it's COVID and nobody has a senior showcase, I bet you're jealous.
I
I've
bet you
sat
go to
through-
the early one and then you show up to the late one with a mustache or something. You're like, it's I just wanted to see this for the first time today. And
There you go.
creep into all these senior showcases.
I love a showcase. What's not to love?
the despair.
Oh my god.
Speaking of, listen, they're
Keep
on
dreaming,
their,
kids.
They're on their journey of leveling up to Justin Guarini level and being able to
God.
exist authentically in their own space.
100%. Isn't that great? Everything he just said, I was like nodding so hard. And I was reading some of the comments coming in, and my favorite one was, "This is actually good advice." I love the actually, just to cement the
The usual
I don't know.
swill that we peddle on this show. Finally, someone that has something good to say. These
Swill.
two numbskulls have been giving us BS for 6 months.
Oh my God! Finally, someone talking sense. Justin Guarini, what a beautiful man. I love him so
Just
much.
the best.
Very beautiful. Before we bring him back on, because I want the two of you to have this chance to play with us all together, we have to talk about all the things you've been up
we have to talk about everything.
There's
You're
so
a
many things.
busy
so many
man.
things. Okay, we have to talk about We Aren't Kids Anymore.
That's
so
right.
you dropped this like right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah, about 3 weeks into the pandemic, we released the album, and you know that was always the plan, but the pandemic kind of got in the way of,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
excitement. We had a show planned and a release concert and the whole thing, but we released it anyway, despite there being a horrifying diarrhea volcano upon us.
Yeah. Well, and thank God you released it because it's bop after bop after bop, except for one or two sad songs as well. It's also
Except
got
for one or
some
two
feels on
songs,
it.
which I hate.
One or two
we
senior
hate those
showcase songs. One or two senior showcase songs. And then the rest is actually what you like to write.
Yeah, no, it's bop after bop, and it really speaks to me on a very, very real level.
You
but I
weren't a
wanna
kid
ask
anymore,
you- Not a
Michael?
kid anymore.
Oh.
When I go, listen, it doesn't matter.
You're going like
You're quoting songs that like 1% of any of these listeners probably know, but I really appreciate it.
But I feel like, some of the people watching, they get to know new things because of this. And you know what? If you want to go take a listen, go stream We Aren't Kids Anymore. Or if you really want our guests to make some money, drop some coins on the iTunes. But if not, just stream it wherever you stream your music.
Yeah, listen, that's not what I'm in this for. But yes, Jackie's right. Please pay me for the hard effort of creating this junk for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. You get it. You can stream it. You can buy it. Also, the When I Go music video is a hit, and it's on YouTube.
Thank you.
I want to, I've been watching you for a while. I really
Michael, you're really leading into the creep angle today.
This is not creepy.
Are you in my house right now?
He's actually right through that window.
Yeah, you're a public figure. You're a public figure. This isn't weird. And also, I'm pretty sure somebody sang you at my senior showcase. So, why not?
I think that somebody was you, Michael.
It wasn't me.
I think at this point it's confirmed.
I'm sure somebody sang. You know what somebody sang? Somebody definitely sang "I'm a Little Bit," the phone call song, and that's all I'll say because I don't want to give the punchline away. But kids, go.
Yeah, it's only been out for 13 years.
It's only been out for
kids.
13 years. If you haven't watched it, now's the time.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
But what I want to ask about first and foremost, you've got quite a catalog of music out there. Who do you consider to be your kind of musical influences as an artist, as kind of a boilerplate artist?
I really got a kick out of all those 90s cartoon theme songs like DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and Goof Troop and
Yes, baby.
I like all that kind of shit. I have
that 90s funky sound.
Yeah. It must have been the same guy. Chippendale Rescue Rangers, all those songs. It must have been the same guy laying all those songs down. But all those songs were like, I think I need to write music. Like seriously, it was like a cartoon upbringing that got me into writing songs. But there was always like Elton and Paul Simon and Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and all that stuff was always being played in my house.
But I love that the Disney afternoon is one of your musical influences.
Big time.
Not
and
Nickelodeon
Disney music,
too. The
Nickelodeon.
Disney afternoon.
We love the Disney afternoon, dude. Oh my God,
gosh.
Are you kidding? Darkwing Duck was such a fire theme song. And remember the Doug theme song from Nickelodeon?
Yes.
You want to talk about bops? Can we just talk about this the rest of the time? What do we?
Yes.
I don't need to talk about my theater shit. Let's talk about this. Oh, you got all the parts down? Yes,
Jackie's fully off book.
I'm ready to go.
I want to see this at senior showcases. I want someone to just do the totally no lyrics, just do 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 do. Come on, that's
I kid you not. I used to know somebody who had a whole book. I'm giving somebody's secrets away on the internet, so sorry. I used to know somebody, we took a class together. I don't really know her, it doesn't matter. Her whole book was TV theme songs. So if they wanted a jazzy thing, she would sing you The Nanny. Or if they wanted and I was like, I remember being like, this girl is brilliant. This is brilliant. Because every casting director is going to be like, what else you got? What else
that is
brilliant
brilliant.
Are you sure that girl wasn't me? Because I love a TV theme song. WandaVision.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry. A little preview for later.
We were really okay. Very cool.
I was okay. I have a Disney afternoon mix.
You do have a Disney afternoon
I think
mix.
I'm this girl.
This might be you. You
This
might
girl
be this girl
might be
that I
me.
once met.
It sounds like you guys are both about to break into song right now. It literally, this whole conversation feels like it's crescendoing to a song.
Just kidding. That's going to be the finale.
Wow,
my God.
wow. I was like, I guess I must have said something really offensive. Is it because I'm not plugging Patty's wine?
No,
Is
it's 'cause
that
you
why, Patty?
Or
Dr. Pepper?
You
Listen,
had
I
two
don't
promotional
have real
drinks
life.
tonight.
I don't have products that I sponsor.
You
I
said-
just get drunk. That's
You
what
said the
I do.
secret slime word, and I hit the button.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in addition to all of your influences, we also talk about your outfluences, which is your podcast.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
I love an outfluence. That's fun.
I felt Aussian. I thought I could make up a word.
Outfluence sounds like something you go to the doctor for.
Well, in this era.
Maybe it is. The podcast kind of might fall under that category too. That's fair.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
in the middle of Justin's episode, you do take an outfluence break.
That's true. In the middle of Justin's episode, I had to run to take a pee. I really did have to pee. I was drinking.
Do we
a lot
need
of
Justin to
coffee.
come back in and comment on how unprofessional that is?
I think.
If you want to come back, I'd love to see Justin. Where's he
Justin's
at?
in the back, just shaking his head. Well, hold on. Before we bring him back,
No, I don't want to. He doesn't.
He's like, I'm good.
There's no more affiliation. We don't want any more affiliation with each other.
listen,
he is enough.
He had 28 minutes of time. Before we bring him back.
That's true.
Drew, this is your time to shine. I do want to talk about your podcast because I mentioned this to you. You're shining. I mentioned this to
powder.
you.
Yeah.
I mentioned this to you before we went on, but your podcast is just so good.
Thank
now
you.
we're talking. You kind of. It's very refreshing. You kind of take a step away from the usual kind of, tell me about your shows, tell me about your whatever.
Yeah.
And you get to just some more like human conversations, super cool stuff. You're a very warm and natural host.
I appreciate that.
We should try that.
We should try that sometime. this is schmacting and schmacting. Tell us about it. It's going great. How did it start? What's going on?
Well, there was a pandemic that happened about a year ago, and it was in the news if you missed it. And so it was around this time that all the things I was working toward, the We Aren't Kids Anymore thing was like ready to go. We were about to license it so that theaters and colleges and other regionals could start doing the show. We were working on Karate Kid. The week before the shutdown, we had our first big industry reading, and it went really well. So all steam was going ahead with that project. And a number of other things were like, yeah! Damn it! So it all kind of hit that wall right when everything else hit that wall, and because I was starting to do a lot of these live virtual conversations, a lot of people were just kind of saying to me, have you thought about doing a podcast? And I said, I don't even listen to podcasts. I don't know what I have to offer here. And then I realized that show business people really like to talk about nothing but show business. And I said, well, why don't I get a podcast with the Broadway Podcast Network? And we'll talk about things that are way outside of show business, like which Super Mario character gave you your sexual awakening? Things like that. I just feel like that's kind of more of an interesting route. If you want to look at someone's resume, Google their ass. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted this podcast so that I could get really silly with all these friends. I've been grinding it in New York for such a long, long time. I have all these friends in my arsenal of people I've worked with. And
did you say grinding at in New York? Because I've been grinding at some people in New York, but I think we mean different.
Did I misuse grinding? There's a New York version of grinding. Did I misuse that term?
You know what? Like Justin said, it's for everyone. It's
for everybody. Absolutely,
it's for everyone.
But yeah, and I think what's amazing is, as you mentioned, there was a pandemic, and I think a lot of people. And listen, this is not shade. I am not shading anybody.
I feel like it's about to be shade.
It's not about to be shade. I say go for your dreams. I say try everything. I say you never know until try. However, this pandemic started. A lot of people started
quoting Shakira.
A
from
lot of
Zootopia.
people. Yes.
Try everything. Okay, sorry.
A lot of people started podcasts. It was a hot thing to do. And dare I say, not everybody should have started a podcast.
Why do you look at me when you say that?
I wasn't looking at you. Oh my God, you
podcast
just launched
started
a podcast.
yesterday.
And it's fire.
and it's
Jackie,
great.
it's fire. It's
Oh
so
my
good.
God.
But both
It's
of you
lit.
are on the list of the people that should have started podcasts.
Oh.
Well, I appreciate that, and it really has been a lot of fun. It really is. We've had Alex Brightman on. We have Rob McClure, Emma Hutton, Rachel Zegler, Antonio Cipriano, Catherine Gallagher, Lily Cooper, Justin.
Oh, come on!
Justin,
The one
name's
from
not coming
television,
to me.
right?
The
The one
name's
from
not coming to
TV?
me. He was
Yeah.
he almost won that reality show. Didn't quite win. I forget his name. Justin somebody, but he was on the show
Clay
too. It was
Aiken.
great.
Clay Aiken. Yeah, Clay Aiken.
I don't know if you guys see the comments. He just corrected me. He said TV's Justin Guarini. So TV's Justin Guarini was also on the podcast. And it has been a lot of fun. I hope people tune in and subscribe. It's a lot of fun.
It is a great time. It's called Now We're Talking.
Through the Broadway Podcast.
It's at Broadway Podcast Network. Get in the system and then tear it down from inside.
That's right. I've been on a show on there. I was on the My Broadway Memory Show. I was on that show on the Broadway Network. So you can listen to me.
we're not plugging that show, Jackie. We're plugging my show.
We're plugging Drew's show.
We're plugging. Now we're talking.
Now you're plugging Drew's competition.
By Drew Gasparini.
The wheels are off the bus,
There's
you
no
guys.
competition. The whole network is a really cool, congealed family. It's actually kind of awesome. I was just teasing, Jackie. And I should have both you on the podcast.
Ooh,
We're available.
Oh my God, we need to get a life.
Oh my goodness. And then I do want to talk to you. We are going to bring, don't fret kids, we are going to bring Justin back because as I found out today, I can't believe the two of you guys did Rent together.
Yeah.
How are we going to pay?
How are we going to pay last year's rent, this year's rent? But it happens to be the 25th anniversary of Rent, and you happen to, by some kismet, be our guests. And today I discovered the Rent connection. What a weird time. But speaking of Broadway shows, you've been very busy. You're composing the incoming, or the Broadway-bound The Karate Kid.
That is correct, yes.
Which the team is fire.
I have a question. So was that pitched at the exact same time as this like follow-up Karate Kid TV show was pitched? And it's like now the Karate Kid universe?
That's like a really awesome happenstance that show kind of started blowing up at the same time that we were starting to write the musical adaptation. But it's a lot of great free publicity for us, I feel like.
Totally.
Because now the Karate Kid has this next generation of fans, like all kind of coming out of the woodwork, and they're younger, and it's really, really great. Guys, you ain't even ready. Like I try to say this with as much humility as possible. Broadway's brains will explode when they see this musical. It is not like the truth is I turned this job down twice because every time I heard Karate Kid the musical, I was like, well, that doesn't need to happen. Who the hell needs this? And then when I finally wrapped my head around how to get in there with the score, I said, okay, please let me try again. Or let me come back to you guys with some ideas and some material. And I tossed some songs into the ring. Thank God I got it, because this vision of what this is going to be it's unlike anything I've really seen on Broadway. And that's kind of the goal from all the creative brains going toward this. We're trying to make something very different. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah.
I mean, the first I saw of it was on one of your social channels, and then I was like, oh, Drew Gasparini's working on this thing, let me check it out. And then I was reading down the creative list, the choreographer, the director, and it is like Broadway's brightest.
Broadway's best,
coming together to like
best.
blow the roof off of something. I cannot wait.
We got the best. We got Derek McLean, who did the sets for like Moulin Rouge. He just did sets for the Golden Globes. He's doing our sets. We got Keone and Mari Madrid, who are the directors of the Britney Spears musical that Justin is in. They're choreographing for us. We got Amon Miyamoto, who is a Japanese visionary. He did Pacific Overtures on Broadway many years ago. And I'm writing the score, and the book is being written by Robert Mark Kamen, who not only wrote the Karate Kid movies, but he wrote The Fifth Element, Taken, all the Transporter movies. The guy's never not had a hit. So hopefully he'll rub some of that juju onto our onto our musical too. But like I said, I think the world is going to be wildly surprised by what we're doing here.
Yeah, I can't wait. Speaking of Justin Guarini, who we've been speaking about for the past hour, let's bring him back. We are, time flies when you're having the best time ever. Let's bring Justin back. Welcome back, Justin.
Oh my gosh.
We have a few minutes left altogether, so I wanted to bring you all back in the style of today's guest, Drew Gasparini. Let's throw Broadway out the window for a second.
Yes.
We've had a great time plugging each other. What? But moving on.
Oh, Michael.
That's also in Justin's book. That's chapter 5.
That is the 6th secret.
Okay.
The question I want to pose to you guys is just, we're going on a year of the Broadway shutdown. How are you guys?
How you feeling?
Talk to us about life.
How much time you got?
I lost the rest of my hair, and Justin found it. And that's how that happened, I think.
Drew, come over. When Justin comes for his makeover, I'll give you, I have many of these hats.
If anybody saw me even attempt drag in any capacity, I think RuPaul would even be like, I'm not doing this anymore.
I doubt it. I think it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. Anything is possible.
A miracle as well. Put a miracle on top of the spackle.
Oh my gosh.
I think we can really answer the question that you just asked if you put that picture of Drew and I up again. That really is the answer.
Cutie.
Right there. That's it. That's it. We're waiting for the phone to ring.
Yep.
And we're also trying our hardest not to
fart.
burst a capillary.
Oh, that's what it is.
As we scream.
Yes.
Because we can't do what we love.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was me taking the call for Justin, and I was like, "Listen, Broadway, he's going American Idol. Back off. Kiss my butt with this Lion King."
That photo, you guys are such cuties.
That was 10 years ago, Justin.
And yeah, my son,
my
who was
God.
3 weeks old, who I carried around all the time there, is now going to be 10 next month.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I don't know what just
That's
happened
it.
to me.
Yes.
Physically, what just happened to me here?
It
You
all
just got
dropped
10 years
another
older.
inch
Whoa.
lower.
Thank God I could have used the other inch, so thank you. That's good. Is this a family show?
It's unclear at this point.
It's
anymore.
some kind of family. It's some kind of family. I don't know whose family, but it's a family.
The Broadway
show.
family is what it
No
is.
one's
It's a Broadway family.
No one's
show.
rebelling in the comments yet. I keep checking, so I feel like we're good. Keep
good.
pushing. Keep
Thank
pushing
God.
until we get kicked back.
Yeah,
Why
Layla
not?
says LMAO, which if I said that out loud, that all the acronyms could be bad. But you know what? We can play both sides of the double entendres here at Good Morning Tonight.
Wow. I didn't
Wait.
know you spoke Russian? What?
Sure. Wait, Justin, I actually have an important question for you.
Yes.
Not Broadway related. So your mom is a real newscaster?
She was, yeah. She was one of the first 200 people to start up CNN.
So, Justin, how are we doing?
Phenomenal. If only she had the makeup and the wit. Really.
Oh, you like my makeup? I worked really hard on it today. Thank you for noticing.
No, my mom was awesome. And again, you talk about those things, and I know Drew has a bunch of these stories as well, because there's a picture somewhere, and I want to find it and put it up, where Drew has a little microphone that goes like this, and he's got a guitar. And there's a bunch of children sitting around.
Oh
and he's
my God.
playing his heart out, and it's awesome. Well, it's those things, those moments where you realize, oh my goodness, I was made for this, and Drew was made for this. Seriously,
Was he playing Georg von Trapp? Was it?
No. I'll let Drew tell the story, but I will say this: somebody allowed me at about 5 or 6 years of age to run the teleprompter for a live CNN broadcast, and so again,
And this is back when teleprompters. I'm running the teleprompter right now, but this is back when teleprompters.
No, we
were
know
not,
everything. We're memorizing.
We're not as easy.
was copy. It was copy. But Drew, tell your
Like
story
paper?
about playing the guitar for the kids, because I've seen that picture and I just was like, I want to put that up on my wall. It was what was it?
It was called Songs for Seeds. It's actually still like a mega franchise in New York City, and I helped found it. It was we would play at birthday parties and for like little classes and stuff. I would also try very hard to date the nannies. And that's
The hot
mostly why I did
teachers.
it. Yeah, the hot kindergarten teachers. No, but it was while I would like wake up at 6 a.m. and do that, and then the rest of my afternoon was trying to write musical theater, and then my evenings would be spent waiting for Titus Burgess or somebody like that to come out of the stage door so I could give him a demo and be like, please, please sing my junk, please.
That's all you'd say. Please.
Wait, so and you're like on the same street corner as the guys handing out their rap CDs, and you're like, try this.
Yeah, I was like, you guys want to hear a dope mixtape? This one has show tunes.
Do the guys still try to hand out their
Yes,
CDs?
they do.
Yeah.
And my
Who has a CD player?
my Long Island mother cannot not take it. She comes in and she's like, well, my son is an actor. He's struggling, which I'm not
Doesn't
anymore.
she
but
know it's a scam?
yes,
Doesn't
but
she know that Drew is a scam? She's trying to
does it.
I was a scam too. You know what? Those same people that took that mixtape are the people that hired me for Karate Kid. It's true.
Oh,
It's true. They held on to that mixtape. They're like, let's give it another listen. 13 years down the line. Yeah.
They're like, I didn't know I liked DuckTales this much.
it's me doing a series of Disney theme song covers.
There you go.
It's going for something. I don't know.
And I realized life is like a hurricane.
Oh my God.
Well, and clearly it worked out because now everybody in the entire effing world has sung a Drew Gasparini song. It is.
We have to challenge ours. Maybe we should sing one next week.
We almost sang one tonight.
We almost
but
sang one tonight.
We didn't have time.
But now that I know that you love TV themes, we kind of sang a Drew Gasparini.
I don't
song.
even. Well, I'm so offended that you both didn't sing one of my songs. I
listen,
should walk off right now.
the truth
I should
comes out.
storm off.
The track was not available, and BMI ASCAP did not grant us the rights.
That is true. Drew, if you have any simple tracks just laying about.
Yeah, I'll send them to you guys. You just tell me what
Yes!
you need. I'll help
Oh
you
my
out.
God,
I'll help you out.
work. I love this.
Well,
if anybody's looking for an arousing experience, go on YouTube and watch Justin Guarini sing my song "Good Stuff." It really brought
It's mostly
the
me
house
getting aroused.
down.
That's the
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
We could just do this for another 2 hours.
Can we?
Unfortunately.
I have more beer.
As you may have guessed, I have nothing to do. So here we are. You guys, this has been by far the best time.
The wildest time we've had on this television show.
Yeah.
I had a blast with you guys.
Take that, Liz Calloway. We had a wilder time with these two. No, Liz was so fun, but so sweet. Liz Calloway came in here.
Liz was wild.
With
Liz cut loose.
But Liz, I mean, God, wow, my heart just opens for her. Actually, I do kind of want to end on a little bit of a heartwarming note. So okay, imagine you're a young, struggling person in this industry going through this year.
We said a young, struggling person.
Yeah, maybe someone. Yeah. So, what would you tell anyone watching? Give them one thing. What's something you're hopeful for coming up? What's something you're hopeful for? What's something you want to give a little moment of inspiration? Should I start with Justin? Because Drew, will you turn this sideways?
I don't know. No, I'm Justin. Go ahead if you want to say something.
Look, theater has been a dying art for thousands of years. Okay.
That's what they say.
It's been dying for thousands. It ain't going anywhere. But I think this is a time, much like when COVID really first hit, we entered a period, for the last 100 years plus, we've been in this expansion period, technology, being able to travel, social expansion, right? The fact that we can love who we want to love, and I mean, it ain't perfect, right? All this expansion, right? And then all of a sudden 2020 comes in, and it's a massive contraction in the world. We cannot go outside. We cannot do the things that we love. We can't participate and express ourselves the way we used to. But I will say that even now, as we begin to slowly but surely come out of it, the opportunity that Drew has taken, that Michael and Jackie has taken, that I have taken, that so many artists have taken, is to not cry about what we can't do on the outside, but to contract and expand within our contraction and really dive into our craft, dive into our expression. Because guess what, folks? There are a whole bunch of people sitting on the couch right now eating ice cream. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's all they're doing. And if you can begin to really work on your craft, stay focused, stay sharp. When we come out of this thing, you're not only going to look good, you're going to look outstanding compared to all the people who are like, I better get ready, right?
Yeah.
So that is why Drew, whether it's this or the next thing he does, is going to be extremely successful. That's why you, Michael, and Jackie are going to be so sharp, because you've been putting on a show. And that's why I am here and able to do the things and say the things that I'm able to say. It's just because we all went in and we continued to, we didn't allow something to stop us from doing what we love. We just did it on our own terms.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so inspired. Drew, good luck trying to follow that up.
Listen, that was so brilliantly put. Let me get my book, Audition Secrets, real quick.
Pull on,
honestly, everything Justin just said is so on the money. And I mean, as a writer, let me just say that we are working our tails off to make sure that when the world opens back up, we are saying, actors, directors, look, we have it. We have the goods. We have a mountain of goods. I'm not the only writer who is still hustling. Note, I didn't use the word grinding this time. But we're trying to make sure to have material so that when we open back up, there is not just the old, but there is a giant mountain of new coming into the theater world. And we're so ready for the performers and directors to get their hands on it and get working with us. And we just want to get back to work. And everything Justin said is right. Be sharp and ready, because when it opens, let's not have it be a slow, creaking the door. Let's kick this MF in, and let's say we are back, baby. We are ready. That's the best part about everything. Again, I'm just piggybacking off of Justin. The Broadway family is the greatest group of people, because during this year of all the way shut down, everybody is still like, let's celebrate the things that could have happened. Let's celebrate the 25th anniversary of Rent. Let's celebrate this and that. We're keeping it so on the surface so that when the door opens back up, we can fly through it. And that's what I'm excited to see.
Oh,
For sure.
Gosh, I'm too inspired. You have been two of our favorite guests. I'm going to say it. I don't pick favorites, but now I am.
Yeah, I mean, I am so inspired by both of you. Just to echo what's already swimming around the room already, I'm just so inspired. Your commitment to just continuing to do the work. You both have such incredible things going on. You guys, please do follow both of these guests because they are doing
Their handles
it.
are scrolling right below.
Yes, and tune into our morning talk show. Justin and I sit there and eat hot dogs. It's called Two Eenies Eating Weenies. Come on by.
It's great.
It's great.
Oh
goodness.
my gosh, you two are such a joy, a delight. Thank you both for giving us your time, your energy, your hearts. I'm obsessed.
And yeah.
I can't wait to put you both in the drags. It's gonna be
Looking
great.
forward to it. And Michael, we'll see you at the next senior showcase.
I can't wait.
Oh my God.
Listen, I love a meadowlark. I cannot wait. I'll see you there. Guys, good morning tonight. Thank you for being here. We adore you both.
Oh my God, my darlings.
Oh my goodness.
What a hoot. What
That-
a hoot.
I had a feeling this was going to be a wild ride.
It really was.
And, we were. I know I just said it, but you guys, I fully meant it. I am in awe of both of our guests tonight. They are inspiring, talented, generous men doing great work. Please do follow them. Keep an eye out for them because you're going to want to. You're going to want to.
And speaking of things you're going to want to keep an eye out for, did you know that there are 2 other shows on this very network, Broadway-Talk Live?
I did.
Including this coming Thursday is the 5:30 Quarantini with Michael Hull and our darling Dilla Bustamante, which this week is dark, but we'll be back next week with a special guest.
Yes. And then again, Mondays, there's a theme here, you guys. Mondays is MT Trivia with Chris and Kevin Metzger-Timpson. They also are dark this week. Spoiler alert, we've got stuff coming, which is why 2 shows in a row are dark. But they are dark this week, but they will be back next Monday.
And then next Tuesday, a week from tonight, we are bringing back Patty Murin and Colin Donnell, who we had a virtual sip of their wine, but we'll have them with the real wine in person on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. It's going to be a great time. You guys, until then, wear a mask.
Wear a mask, and if you're not doing anything Friday, there's a TV show I've been watching. I've been dying to tell you about it, Mike.
I can't wait to hear about it. As soon as we get off the air, tell me all
I'll
about
tell
it.
you about it in a minute.
Good morning tonight.
Typical news show just moved to town. A regular bantering team who show up on Tuesdays to share the Broadway dream. Good morning tonight. She can interview guests while looking her best. He's a musical theater geek. Hey, you are too. How will this duo fit in and pull through? Oh, by sharing a show like you've never seen. Good morning tonight.